David Oliverio. That is I. Some of you may remember a Christian evangelist by the name of Tim LaHaye back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I think he died back in 2005 or so. He was the author of the film series and the producer Left Behind. He was a strong fundamentals preacher. In his book, The Battle for the Mind, written in 1980, he maintains that, and quote, most of the evils in the world today can be traced to humanism, which has taken over our government, the United Nations, education, television, and most of the influential things of life. The quote goes on, humanism is not only the world's greatest evil, but until recently the most deceptive of all religious philosophies. There's been a battle against the beautiful worldview of secular humanism for years. It continues. How do I know? Excuse me. Because I'm out there and I talk to people. I'm out of my echo chamber and out of my confirmation bias bubble of atheism and secular humanism. I talk to people all the time, out on the weekends with signs and pretty much every day wherever I go. And this is what I hear from people. Number one, well, David, humanism is all about selfishness. It is about meism. Now, let me correct that. All human beings have our selfish genes. We've been made by selfish genes. We take care of ourselves, but many of us have matured and outgrown just those selfish genes only to be selfless. Secular humanism, much like believers, because it's a universal concept, innate concept within all humanity, humanism promotes altruism, sharing and caring for other people. We have wonderful organizations that are secular that give and take care of other people. So no, it's not just based on meism, it's about giving and sharing with others. Number two, it is un-American and it is destroying our country. Wow. Here's another quote from a book entitled Secular Humanism, the Most Dangerous Religion in America, author Homer Duncan, and of course the Senator Jesse Helms. You may remember him years ago. He was a strong advocate for breaking down the separation of church and state and fundamentalist nationalistic Christianity. Quote, the only way to save America is to root out the humanists from all walks of life. Wow. All right, so no, we're not un-American. Our founding fathers came over here knowing and understanding that most people that came across from Europe came for religious freedom and other reasons as well. We understand that. But they were smart enough to know to put up that wall and to divide religion and government because they did not want to see the same thing repeated here in the new country, what was happening across the pond with the religious wars. Freedom for everybody, dangerous religion in America, destroying our country. I think not. I think if you look at the data, things are actually slowly getting better in many ways. Number three, secular humanism hates God. I get this often. Well, you're just angry at God, you hate God. Well, the answer is you cannot hate something that you do not believe exists. So I don't hate God. God is just an idea. It's just a word to me, an idea in people's heads. I don't hate God. Number four, secular humanism worships man. I get this often. This is found in the book of Romans chapter 1, verse 26. If you want to do an interesting read to find out where believers get the idea of we who are unbelievers and our characteristics and lifestyle, read the first chapter of Romans for entertainment. In verse 26, it says that we, the created, have replaced, through a lie, right, God with man. And now we worship the created versus the creator. The concept of worship is gone. I no longer think of this word worship. That has a spiritual and Christian and religious connotation. We don't worship humanity. True, we have replaced the gods because they are becoming dethroned more and more in individual lives. we do replace it with something. As Protagoras said back 500 BCE, the pre-Socratic Greek philosopher, the standard measure of all things, he didn't say it was a Western diamondback rattlesnake. He didn't say the standard measure of all things was an African elephant. He didn't say it was a gerbil or a hamster or a red-winged blackbird. That's being silly, right? It's the enlightened human mind. Of course, we do not worship man. This whole concept of worship and bowing down is gone among unbelievers. Here's another one I get. Number 5, it is satanic in origin. It derives from the pit of hell. This is Satan's way of taking over the world. Let me tell you how satanic humanism is. I will give the 4 progressive values of secular humanism, which I talk about often. Number 1, truth. We want to know reality and truth based on science, reason, and education, putting things to the test. Number 2 of the 4 progressive values of secular humanism is altruism. That means we care about the less fortunate. We give, we help other people. That sounds pretty devilish and satanic, doesn't it? Also, freedom for everybody. You are free to believe whatever you want to believe, however the crazy the belief system is, as long as it doesn't pick my pocket or break my leg. So you have a freedom to believe in a God and freedom to not believe in a God. And also, equality. We want everyone to be treated equal. I will treat Christians and Muslims and Jews and all religious believers with dignity and respect. So humanism is about the worth, the dignity, the value, the respect of all humans. Now, the question is, does that sound like something the devil would do? It doesn't sound very demonic to me. It sounds caring, loving, kind, and compassionate. And that's what humanism is about. Number 6, secular humanism creates immorality and immoral societies. I talk about it all the time. We have a replacement for theistic morality, biblical morality. It's called secular humanism. It is called a consequentialist ethical system, whereby ethical and moral values are derived from human need, human interest, tested by experience, tested by the consequences. We have the autonomy of ethics, situational ethics, and we have moral philosophy and ethology. It's all out there for people to read if you really want to know. So it's a very ethical and moral system. And to answer the critics, which I do often, secular societies around the world, we will find healthier communities, healthier societies with less crime, less poverty, less homelessness, less divorce. And did I mention homicide rates? Everything is lower. They're healthier, more peaceful countries, and they tend to be less theistic in belief. They tend to be more secular, humanist, atheist, or agnostic. Number 7, I get this often, and this is the last one. Secular humanism, wants to destroy Christianity. It wants to remove churches and to take away rights from believers. We're not out to destroy people's beliefs. That's totally contrary to what secular humanism is about. We promote humanity above all. We want everybody to believe what they want to believe. We're not trying to destroy your churches. We don't want to burn your churches down. We don't burn churches down. We say you keep your beliefs in your mind, in your head, keep it in your church, and you do have free speech. But don't use your freedom and right in your belief system to discriminate against other people's rights and freedoms. Keep it separate, okay? And take away rights for believers? No, we're not trying to take away people's rights. So in defense of secular humanism, these are answers we have for critics. And I wish that, and I hope that many of you would take some of this and share this with other people, because we have something that is superior to these outdated books, the Bible and the Quran, and these belief systems. So remember to let the light and the compassion of secular humanism shine. Have a wonderful day.